Hello and welcome back to the House of Phoenix. It is Miss Phoenix again, and we have, of course, the Freezing Cello in one of our favourite games, Dead by Daylight, and you can see that I'm still enjoying playing as Serena. Not only because she has some really cool perks, but I do love her fashion sense as well. Exactly the sort of thing that I would wear, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have DarkHero joining us in a second, and he's going to be giving some little hints and tips along the way. So, sorry, I am focusing on trying to repair the generator without blowing up. Oh, that sounds like Gunslinger.
Oh no. Oh yeah, it is. Someone's running away from them.
Okay.
And I just walked towards them for some reason.
One thing to remember if you're playing this game is to use the archives. Get yourself lots of blood points by doing some of the challenges, and then you can upgrade your perks by going through the blood web. Not forgetting, sorry, I was listening up for heartbeats, but you can go back to previous archives as well.
No, I'm in a house now. Oh, nice.
Okay, we have DarkHero with us, and DarkHero is going to just have a little chat because I think it was really interesting. I generally always play as a survivor, but DarkHero convinced me to play as a killer. If you play as a killer, you get to see, obviously, what they can see, and it helps you to survive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does.
So what can you tell us?
Well, playing as the killer, depending on who it is, you get a different sort of view of how the game works, and vice versa. If you're playing a survivor who has a bit of killer experience, you will then get to see those things. Like, when I'm playing as a killer, I'm always observing the environment. If I'm chasing a survivor, I see where the windows are, I see where the pallets are. So if I see a window and I see a survivor running towards it, 9 times out of 10 they're going to jump through it. So I'll either look to see if I can close the distance quicker, or see if I can flank around and find a quicker way to beat them to the other side of the window. Whereas if you just play survivor, you don't tend to think of that stuff too much, but it teaches you forward planning based off your environment, I feel.
And also I think it helps you with things like I found with scratch marks.
Yep. Definitely makes you aware. Because if you've never played as a killer, you wouldn't ever really know, unless you obviously use the Nancy Wheeler perk, you wouldn't ever actually know what your scratch marks would look like. Which can be an interesting thing, because sometimes you don't realise how much it actually gives away where you are. Obviously you do get perks like lightweight, which reduce how long your scratch marks stay visible, but in reality, if you keep sprinting and sprinting and sprinting, the killer does get a breadcrumb trail right to where you are. And I know some people like to do a little thing where they run for it and then stop, but generally you don't create enough distance to actually get away. I can always just follow the thing. If I see it stops, I know they're around relatively close, because the killer can run faster than you can sprint, so they can definitely move faster than you can walk.
I think it's also interesting that some people use the scratch marks to their advantage, so they'll deliberately go around in circles and veer off in different directions to make it impossible for the killer to follow them.
Yeah, that's very true. That can also work. I know there's another perk as well. I can't remember what it's called, but I know that you can use it where if you fast vault through something and then sprint, you don't make scratch marks for a couple of seconds, which is good for that kind of thing, which you just described. You can circle around a building or a wall they'll believe you're around there somewhere. You can jump through a window and run off, and due to no scratch marks, they probably won't think that you actually went through there. Chances are, especially if you're circling something, they'll think that you're still just circling it.
Brilliant. What other things? I mean, we talked about scratch marks. Obviously, killers get perks as well.
Yeah. Which perk in particular was it you were wondering about?
I have no idea. I don't play as killer very often, so...
Well, different... Well, I can share my opinion on hexes, I suppose. A lot of people spend their games, obviously, hex hunting, as you guys will know. In terms of what you'll see on an earlier video, a player broke a totem very early on, which ended up being haunted hunting grounds, which exposes the whole team, so it can actually damage you more than what it does good. Whenever I play Survivor, I always try and emphasise that check to see if they've got ruin first, because if you're fixing a generator, get off of it for a second and see if ruin activates. If it doesn't and there's a hex, there's a very good chance that it's something not that important. Thrill of the Hunt obviously shows them when you're cleansing a totem, but if they've only got Thrill of the Hunt, it doesn't actually make a difference. You're better off just leaving it. Or worst case scenario, their only hex might be Haunted Hunting Ground, so if you break it and expose the whole team, it just lowers your chances of winning that much more. So typically I'd say, unless the killer's got ruin, or unless you know they've got something like, whatever it's called, not Dying Light, the other one. But yeah, there's another one where you build up stacks on it basically, and eventually it leads to insta-downs, it leads to Mories. If they've got that as well, then it's best to take that out. But
Get out of here, Shannon.
Yeah, the other gate's basically open. I opened it.
Okay.
The one straight down the end of the road.
Devour Hope, that's what it's called. It just popped up in my head then. Yeah, if they've got Devour Hope, definitely destroy that. If they've got Ruin, definitely destroy that. Save, what is it? Thrill of the Hunt and Haunted Hunting Grounds, obviously. Don't bother. You won't know if they've got Haunted Hunting Grounds, but like I said, use the process of elimination. If you can see they don't have Ruin, if you can see they don't have the others, there's a chance that it's there. So just worry about the hexes that are actually going to damage you. Don't waste your time breaking the ones that don't.
Okay. So I'm just wondering, last person's over there, okay.
I think they're dead on hook.
I
Maybe.
can't heal yet.
You've still got a decent amount of time before you can.
How do I know how much long?
You can see on the right side there.
Oh, I
when
see.
that circle's gone all the way around, you'll be able to heal again.
Okay. See, it shows how much I pay attention.
Oh, he's coming. Careful because he might shoot you.
No! Swine!
Oh, I got sucked out as well.
That's fine. It serves me right.
And that is why sometimes you just get out.
Oh, it serves me right.
Any other killer, you probably would have gotten away with it, but not the Death Slinger.
If I could have gotten around one of those poles
Yep.
things, not a silly chance. That's cool. Okay, lesson there, guys. Don't mess about, get out. Alright, well, thank you for the hints and tips. And that's another game by the House of Phoenix, and we'll see you again soon.